Hi everyone, my name is Billy No Mates and this is hashtag Let's Get Awkward. Though maybe it should be changed to hashtag Dysfunctional Operation Podcast, as things always seem to pop up when I'm doing things during the week. As you know, I've started my Open Uni course, but what you don't know is my sister started one as well and is in dire need of a computer course, as I've been getting calls non-stop about how to do things, plus listen to her assignment work as she's got no one to bounce the ideas off. But she's doing criminal psychology and that is a very hard topic to understand. So apart from child raising and single parent jobs, I'm also doing a podcast, YouTube videos and a game streaming. It's getting a bit more hectic. Now today we are looking at something I really haven't looked at a lot, as I mainly have done trans in my podcast, but I mentioned non-binary. I have done one episode for a non-binary friend and thought I should do another one. And a story struck me that I remember. It was an interview in 2017 on Good Morning Britain with Piers and Susanna Reid. Though this podcast is done on my opinion, the information I am using has come from an article by the Metro written by Owl. Link will be in the description so you can access it, see the article for itself and the video it comes with. So let's get to it. On the video, before the interview even starts, they show clips of Piers Morgan himself mocking the idea of gender fluid, two-spirit, non-binary, etc. Why they chose to do this is beyond me, as it sets the tone stating, "This isn't going to end well. You will not be treated fairly in this interview." And Piers clearly has already made his mind up about the issue, so why have this gender debate or invite people who are for it to come for a chat when clearly he isn't going to listen at all? Piers even makes fun of one of the guests' names till they explain it is a direct translation of the Icelandic name. Fox and Owl were invited for an interview to discuss gender-neutral uniforms. From the start, Piers is very vocal, asking questions one after the other. Fox tries to answer them, but is interrupted with more questions. Fox mentions they have a book coming out, hands it to Piers, who just takes it, then sticks it in somewhere no one else can see it and just dismisses it. To be fair, Piers did let Fox answer. They told about their experiences growing up, though it does feel like Piers is trying to start a fight, literally get them both rallied up by questioning things like they say before they have a chance to explain what they mean. Piers agrees with transgender rights, allegedly, and admits he struggles with non-binary. He seems to get a bit defensive where it comes to pronouns. He then goes on to Facebook about how they have 72 ways to express their gender identity. Fox says if people want to be a certain gender identity, then it should be respected. Here we see, though, Piers gets more defensive, asking, "Why should I?" Kept repeating, "Why should I?" before questioning if he could identify as a black woman if he wanted to. The question of can I identify as a black woman really did set an awkward tension within the interview itself, and it could be felt. And this question alone seems to be a shameless tactic to use as it diverts away from the topic at hand. Fox and Owl were invited to discuss gender, not ethnicity. Piers tries to secure his claim by saying he was using their logic, stating that if they can be non-binary, be neither male or female, then he can be whatever ethnic race he wants, which is not true. Though despite efforts from the guests to try to explain this hypothetical situation Piers has made up, and they both know he doesn't identify as a black woman, so even I can't really see why he wants to have hypothetical intellectual conversation away from the topic at hand. But that's Piers for you. They did try to reiterate that race and gender are two different things. Piers loudly brushes this off, then goes on the issue they were meant to be there for. Though this did not go well, it just went after thing, and they didn't really seem to get to the heart of the matter. And during the interview, it feels like Fox and Owl were not invited to educate, but to be mocked. Piers takes control all the way through, while Susanna tries to have a guiding input with real questions, trying to diffuse the tensions, yet sadly fails. At the end of the interview, Piers claims it's a new fad, which teens are going with like TikTok. I do really feel bad for Fox and Owl. They took the time out of their day to come on the show in order to educate people who are confused by the notion of non-binary, who believe this will be a platform to get answers across to questions a lot of people have. To open up more avenues of communication, and horribly, I must add, were ridiculed by a man who is as close-minded as they come. I really do question Good Morning Britain and why they put him with Susanna Reid, because he always talks over her, shows no respect to any issue he is against, and ends up treating guests in a way I wouldn't treat my enemies. I mean, fair enough, Piers has been on the side of good in some issues. However, it does not excuse its awful behaviour. Although the interview we have looked at was done in 2017, his stance has not changed. He spews that toxic masculinity, like the time he had a go at Daniel Craig for using a sling, or a baby sling, to carry his baby, stating, "Men use their arms." Give me a break. I would ask further, why do they keep him? But we all know the answer. Ratings. They know he can get them ratings, whether they are good or bad. They don't really seem to care. It's like YouTube, where videos get thumbs up or thumbs down. It doesn't matter in the YouTube algorithm. It will notify the creator of the video that video A got this much attention and is popular. Some YouTube channels have used this to post the same video again, or they create the same video again but with slight differences, then post it again. So Good Morning Britain seem to be going on this because there have been a lot of petitions floating about of Piers Morgan to be fired, and it doesn't matter how many people have signed it, he still has his job. No, I digress. We do need more of an open platform where LGBT plus can answer real questions which have been asked by a person who can stay non-biased no matter what their views are on the topic. Allow both sides to have equal time, be respected, not allow others to talk over them. You know, being civil, something I've never seen Piers Morgan do. It would have been better to not have him there and let Susanna fly solo for the interview. It would have been so much different with a better outcome. Owls said themselves, and this is a direct quote taken from the article, in the end, he does us a favour in the way he tried to goad us into an argument by making his absurd comments. I personally think that it was quite indicative of the way non-binary people are often treated, as objects of ridicule, when all they are doing is trying to be true to themselves and explain to people how they experience their gender. Thankfully, there was an enormous positive response on the issue. Huge strides have been taken since the interview actually aired. Piers was condemned for his behaviour. He called non-binary a massive new fad, like kids are needing something to be cool and stand out from others. This is gender identity, not an iPhone. He claimed 2 or 3 trans kids who died from suicide is incredibly small, adding, "It's just a stat I read, not sure if it's true or not." According to The Guardian, in an article in June 27th, 8 out of 10 trans young people have self-harmed and almost half have attempted suicide. A serious fact such as this should not be treated so lightly or in a joking manner. He did not enter the interview with an open mind. Looking at the start, as I mentioned, it opened with him making fun of non-binary. It clearly showed he did not want to be educated. Piers wanted to use this platform to humiliate Fox and Owl by swinging his private parts and saying, "I am the man, therefore I am right. You are stupid and you don't know what you're talking about." Celebrities have come forward as non-binary. Most popular is Sam Smith, who has been vocal about their identity and life since coming out to the public. Yes, some people are sick of hearing about it, but I keep hearing about the Kardashians. I admit when I first heard about them, I thought it was a Star Trek program about the Kardashians. You know, leather-wearing tyrants seek on world domination, whereas you have the Kardashians, leather-tight-wearing people who are content in world domination. Yeah, that's not really much of a difference, but I think I prefer the Kardashians. But I had no idea who they were and why they were famous, so I did some digging, and I'm not really into it. Yeah, people talk about it, media does stories. I'm sick of it. I would rather listen to Sam Smith open about their life as a non-binary than hear Kim talk about the perfect selfie, piled on with body shaming, ridiculous drama, and debating who had what surgery done wise on their bodies. But we'll go back to the matter at hand. I think I will end with the last part of the article as it has strong words to build on. Non-binary people aren't going away, and we deserve to be accepted, respected, and allowed to express ourselves just like everyone else. We're people just like you, and we have a lot to contribute to society. 3.5 years ago, I never would have thought we'd have made the progress we have now. So to my former self and any non-binary person currently trying to navigate their way through life, even though things are an uphill battle at the moment, we'll get there. Hang in there and continue living your life for yourself, first and foremost. Together we can build a more open and free society that meets the needs of everyone and where people can blossom as who they are, whether that's a man, woman or non-binary. This has been an episode for the week. If you want to know more about trans and non-binary, you can go to mermaidsuk.org.uk. We are not sponsored by them, we just love mermaids. Also, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can go to paypal.me/Let's Get Awkward. And remember to stay awkward.